What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, first up, for those of you who caught our video earlier today, if you didn't, we covered the earliest reactions to Captain America Brave New World as reported by industry insiders. Well, I wanted to give you guys a quick update. According to multiple sources, the review embargo will actually be up tomorrow at midnight, so tune back in here at the channel. It'll be spoiler-free. We'll get to see across the Twitterverse what everyone is saying in first reactions to Captain America Brave New World. In the meantime, we gotta cover the article breaking today and from Variety that talks about Colman Domingo meeting with Marvel Studios about the rumor that he was going to recast as Kang. And it's interesting because both of these actors have had relevance once again and real recently. Of course, Colman Domingo is currently voicing Norman Osborn on the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series that's live right now on Disney+, and we just got competing stories last week about the return of Jonathan Majors or not, depending on which article you believe. One from Screen Geek saying that Kevin Feige was thinking of bringing him back to finish out the Kang storyline, another from TMZ saying that those rumors weren't true. Well, either way, we got to break down this article from Variety talking about Colman Domingo, his reaction to those rumors about being recast as Kang, and what the Marvel Studios meetings were all about. And I think his sentiment is not only interesting in terms of what's going on with Jonathan Majors and Kang, but can also be applied to a separate role here coming up where other actors might feel the exact same way. We're breaking it all down. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you for our ongoing PS5 giveaways. The next one is on Friday for Captain America Brave New World. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this article again broke late today from Variety under the headline, Colman Domingo met Marvel about rumors of replacing Jonathan Majors as Kang. Quote, I want the role to be mine. Something didn't feel right about replacing someone, or they go on to report, quote, Colman Domingo revealed on the Happy Sad Confused podcast that he met with Marvel executives to discuss the onslaught of rumors claiming the studio wanted him to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When it was constantly in the press and on places like Twitter, I was like, wait a minute, is this true? Am I being talked about for Kang? He told the podcast, I literally called up my team and said, are you guys having conversations that I have no idea about? And they said no. I said, are you guys being cagey or what? They weren't. There have been conversations of me coming into Marvel in some way, so we did do a follow-up with a sit-down meeting with the heads of Marvel. I did do that, the actor continued. We talked openly about the landscape of the MCU and the Kang rumors. I am all about energy. I want to do things that make sense and bring gentle energy. I want a role to be mine, whatever I develop. Something didn't feel right to me about replacing someone. I want to build something from the ground up that is my own. Domingo then stressed that the Kang rumors were, quote, never a conversation from my point of view, adding, I want to make something from mine from the ground up, so there are still talks. Now, the article goes on to say that Marvel ultimately decided not to recast Kang and rather went with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom and flipped their whole plans. But remember, there were several industry insiders we can trust, like Daniel Rickman, who insisted the original plan was just to do a recast, and there may have been a reason for some of those rumors early on. This article doesn't clear that up one way or another, but we do know, at least from Colman Domingo's point of view, that he was never really interested, rumors or not, because he didn't want to play a role that Jonathan Majors had already played. Now, as I mentioned in the prologue, I think this exact same sentiment pertains to another role that they are currently recasting or casting in the MCU for Black Panther 3, and that's T'Challa, or T'Challa's son. Now, people have argued this isn't a recast. They're not replacing Chadwick Boseman. That was one T'Challa. They're literally casting an older version of his son. Sure, but he's still going to be the next Black Panther in the MCU, replacing Chadwick Boseman. The comparisons will be drawn from one to another, and you can see why, from a lot of distinguished actors' point of view, they don't want to necessarily walk into a role that has already been crafted by someone else. Now look, if a role becomes sort of established as a mantle passing down over time, say like James Bond, well then that's one thing, because then it becomes a badge of honor to be accepted to be the next guy to play that role. But in cases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where especially certain actors like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chadwick Boseman have really imprinted themselves on the role, you can think from an actor's point of view, it's basically a lose-lose, because even if you do a great job on the film, there are going to be those who are still going to immediately compare you to whatever actor played the role. So son or not, they're still going to compare the next Black Panther to Chadwick Boseman, and I think this really puts Marvel in a really tough position, not only saying to recast T'Challa the way that they're apparently reportedly doing so right now for the future of the MCU, MCU, the Black Panther 3 that's been confirmed, but also if they did ever want to bring Kang back as someone who's not Jonathan Majors. That's why when those reports broke last week, they sort of made sense, because if you were interested in exploring the Kang line in any way, bringing back Jonathan Majors would be the way to do it, not go in a different direction. So while the rumors remain ostensible at best, both with Jonathan Majors returning or not returning, and this Colman Domingo possibly was talking to them, or the rumors may have been true about Marvel's interest in the first place, I think it's apparent that Kang is sidelined for now. They have so many characters to work through and such a delicate story that they have to weave with limited time for characters like Doctor Doom, who have yet to make their entrance in the MCU, that it would seem a little silly to pivot into a brand new villain, completely change Avengers 5, and then somehow try to bring that character back. So all of these discussions may continue and for a while into the future, but I think when you hear about Kang, or when we hear about Jonathan Majors, or if that keeps coming up, the thing to remember is that that would be somewhere far, far down the road. And honestly, I think that would be super cool if out of nowhere, like I said for Fantastic Four 2, but still, from Marvel's point of view, it may just be easier to never revisit that character ever, and I could see that being just as possible. That's why when TMZ tried to debunk the report from Screen Geek that Jonathan Majors, an exclusive, was being eyed for a return by Kevin Feige, that it just feels like that's a lot more likely the case, because they had ample opportunity to let this breathe and then keep with their Kang storyline, and they decided not to do that. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below in response to all of this. Now, I know Colman Domingo is voicing Norman Osborn right now on the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. I'm actually just going to binge watch that because it drops in the middle of the morning. I'm just going to binge watch it when the whole season is up. I haven't seen an episode yet, but everybody's talking about it like it's amazing, and so I'm going to check in on it. But, you know, if he does a good job with Norman Osborn, I don't see why that couldn't be an excellent character for him in the future of the MCU. But of course, that would fall under the very delicate umbrella of Sony rights, and the only reason it doesn't in this case is because the show's animated and not live action. Again, let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. We are still giving away PS5s. We have a ton. We've got one for Captain America Brave New World on Friday, then on the 19th for the finale of Spider-Man, we've got one for that, and then one in March or in April for the finale of Daredevil Born Again. If you want to be entered to win, or for any of the other future giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you liked today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at @I'mFires. You can also find me on all platforms with original music under the name Allfires, and while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, and huge thank you to those of you who already did, because even if the music's not for you, just you checking it out and clicking on it sends it out in the algorithm to people who do want to hear it. Well, I would sincerely appreciate that. Just thanks for checking this channel out. That's the primary thing. Thank you for doing that. And remember to sub. And I'll see you guys in the next one, because we have, like, seriously 5 Captain America Brave New World Theory videos I've got to get out before the movie drops on Thursday. All right, see you in the next one. Peace.